What's going on, family? Welcome to another day of Read Rich and Righteous. We just had some issues with YouTube, so I had to start it all over. So I'm not going to do the introduction. I want to get straight into the reading. We got people waiting for us on Instagram. If YouTube ever acts up, you can go to Instagram. If Instagram ever acts up, you can go over to YouTube. So apologies for that. That's why we have backups. Okay. So we're on page 213 right now, and we are reading. You are a bank. You are a bank. All right. So the scripture for the day is don't throw your pearls to swine. Okay. That's Matthew 7:6. Don't throw your pearls to swine. Okay. You can't save your way to wealth. You were programmed since you were a little kid to save your money in a piggy bank. Matthew 7:6 explicitly says, don't throw your pearls, which is your money, to swine, which is banks. Yet this is what we do by default. I don't know what to do with my money. Put it in the bank. That is how our mind thinks. Okay. So did you catch that? Since you were little, you were told to put your money in piggy banks. That's what you were programmed to do by society. And so now here we are as adults. And what do? We throw our pearls, which is our money, to banks. Okay. So we've been warned and we've been commanded for a long time, but because we don't know how to read the Bible allegorically, we don't know how to break down the parables, the similes, and the metaphors. The writing is on the wall; it is literally there. But since we don't know how to read the Bible from a metaphorical and allegorical standpoint, we take it literal and we think that it's really talking about pearls of swine. Jesus said, "I only speak in parables," right? And so while your money may be safe there and have FDIC insurance up to $250,000, that is not where the money is supposed to go. Currency has no current sitting in a bank, and therefore it cannot increase. So your money cannot increase at great levels in a bank. There were times back in the day where you could get 5, 8, 10% interest in a savings account. That is not what is unfolding today. Right now, your Bank of America bank account has a 0.03% interest rate. And so currency is supposed to have a current. This is why it has that name. Okay. So the truth is that the banks are robbing you without a gun. The banks are robbing you without a gun. The plexiglass is not to protect them from robbers. The plexiglass is not to protect them from robbers. It is to protect them from you once you realize that you have allowed them to borrow your money from you at 0.03% interest and then lend it back to you in the form of a mortgage at 3%, 5%, 7%. Okay. When the book was written, interest rates were at 3%. Okay. Even at that low of a rate, that's still 100 times more than what they were giving you in terms of an interest rate. So you are giving them your money. Okay, remember the title of the chapter is You Are a Bank. You have been lending them your money, okay, at 0.03% interest, right? And then they lend it back to you, your very same money and others back to you at a 3% interest rate, 100 times greater. It's not their fault. So I know many of you are, don't like banks. I don't like banks either, okay, except when I use them, okay? So it is not their fault. We should be angry at ourselves. We should be angry at ourselves. Do you understand that? Yes or no? I'm not mad at the bank. They're just playing a game, and they are winning financially off of anybody who is financially ignorant. Okay, I'm not calling you ignorant. Okay, I'm not calling you ignorant. But when it comes to money, we're still learning about what this substance is, right, and how it's meant to be used. And they profit off of our collective ignorance. They profit off of our collective ignorance. All right. They are charging you 100 times more than you are charging them for money. On top of that, due to the fractional reserve banking system and money multiplier, they can multiply what you give them by 10 since they only have to keep 10% on hand, making their return 1,000 times what you deposited. Your financial illiteracy is an economic opportunity for anyone who understands money more than you. Your financial illiteracy is an economic opportunity for anyone who understands money more than you do. But where did the programming start? It started when you were a little kid and they told you to put your money in a piggy bank. You were giving your pearls to swine. You were giving your pearls, which is your money, to swine, which is the bank. We're not supposed to do that. So, do you see how they are getting 1,000% return on the money that you gave them? I'm going to break it down one more time. You loan them money at 0.03%, right? They then lend it back to you in the form of a mortgage or a business loan at 3%. That's 100 times. Now, the bank, based on the fractional reserve banking system, they only have to hold 10% of deposits on hand. So if they have 100 million in deposits or savings balance, guess what? They only have to hold 10 million on hand. So that actually allows them to multiply the money by another factor of 10. So they're already getting 100 times return on you lending it to them at 0.03% interest and then lending it back to you at 3%. Then you add another zero to that or multiply that by 10, and now they're getting 1,000% return on the money that you lent to them. 1,000% return. And now the interest rate is actually at 6%. It's over 6%. So now they're getting a 2,000% return. Now they're getting a 2,000% return on the money that you're lending them. You notice how the interest rate has gone up for mortgages, but the interest that you're getting in your savings account hasn't increased? They are eating right now. They're eating off of our collective financial ignorance. They are eating. Is this clear, everybody? Okay, so let's do some math for millionaires. At a 0.03% APR in your savings account, it would take you 2,400 years to double your money. Okay, it's called the rule of 72, everyone. Okay, and we're going to get into math for millionaires later on this week. It's called the rule of 72. 72 divided by 0.03 equals 2,400 years. That's how long it would take you to double your money in a bank account today. 2,400 years. Okay. If you are growing your cash at 12% per year through an asset like multifamily real estate, which is my favorite asset class, 72 divided by 12 equals 6 years. That means that your money doubles every 6 years. A 12% cash on cash return is 400 times more growth than a 0.03% return in your savings account. You want your money to double every 6 years or every 24 years? Please let me know in chat. Type it in chat. You want your money to double every 6 years or every 2,400 years? Let me know. 6 or 2,400. I need to know. You want your money to double every 6 years or every 2,400 years? Yes, we are reading from Rich and Righteous, Spiritual Secrets of Mastering Money, Manifestation in Your Mind. The link to get the book is in my bio. Yes. So listen to me, y'all. This is the knowing doing gap. Because you know it is better to multiply your money at 6%, yet behaviorally, many of you are letting these dead presidents stay in their coffins in a bank. The bank your money isn't at the bank, family. You think your money, see, the imagery is that your money is sitting in a bank inside that big vault. When you go to the bank, is that vault wide open? When you go to the bank, isn't that vault always wide open? Why is the vault wide open? Why is there no security guards standing in front of the vault? You want to know why? Because there's no money in there. They've lent your money out. They've lent your money out. There's no money in there. No significant amount. Okay? So, back to page 214. Yes, I'm literally meaning their coffins. These are dead presidents, family. And our job is to resurrect dead presidents. Our job is to resurrect dead presidents. But many of us allow them to stay asleep or resting in their coffin in the bank, doing nothing for us. But then the bank resurrects them and sends them out to work. These are your employees. Franklin, Jackson, Benjamin Hamilton. All of these are your employees. So many of you are great at working for money, but you're failing at your second job, which is making money work for you. Many of you are great at working for money, but many of you are failing at your second job, which is making money work for you. Okay? So yes, we are supposed to resurrect dead presidents. Okay. Everybody type I resurrect dead presidents. I resurrect dead presidents. And the reason I'm having you type that is because, many of these dead presidents were slave masters. Okay. They worked my ancestors really, really hard. Okay. And then on a side note, not all of our ancestors came from Africa. Many of us were already here, family, just so you know. But they write history in a certain way to make you think that there were no black people here in this country before they got here. That's how they steal your birthright. You thought that Jacob stealing Esau's birthright was the worst? No. That's one of the worst stealings of a birthright, is convincing us that there were no black people in, it wasn't even called the United States of America, it wasn't even called the Americas, here on this land before they got here. What would change historically if you knew and understood that there were black people here before they got here? Then guess what? We would actually have claim to this land. But knowing that, they rewrote history and made you think that all black people had to come on ships and boats. Some may have, but not all. Okay? So, Deuteronomy 28:12 says, "You will lend to many nations, but will borrow from none." You will lend to many nations, but will borrow from none. You are not meant to be a borrower. You are a bank. A bank stores deposits like a food bank stores food, a riverbank stores soil, and a financial bank stores financial deposits. You've just been selling or lending your money to the bigger banks at a costly discount. In the hood, what do they say? Big bank takes what? In the hood, what do they say? Big bank takes little bank. That's what we say in the hood. Big bank takes little bank. So that's exactly what's been happening. You've been trusting in these bigger banks because of their brands and their size and their magnitude, and you've been lending your money to them at a very low rate, and then they lend that money back to you and other people at a higher rate. Big bank take little bank. You see how this is playing out? You are being bullied for your lunch money every day. When you deposit money into a bank, it shows up as a loan or liability from you to them on their balance sheet and an asset on your balance sheet. But if they loan that money back out to you or someone else, they have now converted that money from a liability to an asset for them. You are a lender, but you've been programmed to lend your money in bulk to the big banks, which are the lowest paying clients in the world. So we're lending out our money to the lowest paying clients in the world. Only 0.03% interest. Only 0.03% interest. Okay. So we're at the bottom of page 214. At Visual Capitalist, Jeff Desjardins used data from the Federal Reserve Survey of Consumer Finances from 2016 to show how wealth distribution varies for those with a net worth of 10,000 or 100,000 versus those worth 1 billion. As you can see from the chart below, the world's wealthiest people hold the least cash as a percentage of their assets. And so this chart is in the book. And what you'll notice is that the people with the greatest amount of wealth hold the least amount of cash as a percentage of all the assets they've accumulated. Okay. And the people with the least amount of wealth have the most cash as a percentage of all the assets that they hold. Okay. So what does that signify to you? It signifies that we have to get our resources out of cash and into other higher yielding assets. Cash is the lowest yielding asset in the entire world at 0.03% interest. They've taught you to paper chase your entire life. Keep paper chasing. But you're trading your most valuable thing, which is your time, and the currency, the God-given currency that is in your body, which is the greatest currency. It's here, right? You're trading the most valuable currency for the lowest yielding currency, right? This is why Beyonce said, pay me in what? This is why Beyonce said, pay me in what? Pay me in equity. Now, there are some startups out there and some larger companies where you can get stocks when you join that organization. But in some cases, you would have been better off, if you've been there for a long time, you would have been better off taking a lower salary and more stocks than taking a higher salary and less stocks. So if you're at a company right now and you have no equity in that company, one, that you want to know what that signifies. One, it signifies that you don't even really believe in that company. You're just there for a paycheck. You just there to make sure your bills are paid. You aren't invested. You're investing your time and making the money, but you aren't invested in the long-term vision of that company. I could never work for Philip Morris. Now, I'm not talking down about any cigarette smokers, but that is not in alignment with my value system because one of my values is health. So I could never give the currency that is in my body, the God-given currency, the highest currency in the world that is in my body. I can never give that to an entity like Philip Morris that is creating a vision and moving towards a vision that is not aligned with the vision that I have for the world. And so this is a gut check for some of you who are working in organizations and at entities that aren't aligned with the world that you seek to create, that are not creating the heaven on earth that you desire. And you're there, you think you're there using them for a paycheck, but guess what? You're the one that's being used. You think that you're there using them for a paycheck. You doing the bare minimum, 40 hours a week, and you're getting paid a little something, something to pay your rent, your bills, your mortgage, whatever. You think you're using them. No, family. I'm sorry to let you know. You are the one that is being used. You are the one that's being used. Oh yeah, man. Yeah, I work home. I work from home. I'm virtual. I really only got to put in like 10 hours. I got to send some emails. I got this mouse clicker to make it look like I'm working or whatnot. But yeah, they got me kinda, but I just be chilling at the house. You know what I'm saying? But they still send me that check though. But guess what though? You not in your purpose though. You not in a space where God can use you though. You out of alignment though. You got a salary cap though. You ain't doing the greatest good that you could be doing in the world though. But you getting a little paper. You're the one being used, family. You think you're getting over on them, they getting over on you. They're keeping you away from your purpose. In the movie Up in the Air, one of the questions, I forgot what that George Clooney, one of the questions he asked, because he in this movie, he had to fire people. That was his job. And he was just always on the road, traveling to these places and actually firing people from companies, right? En masse. And he was looking at this one guy's resume. And I think this one guy loved to cook. And you know what he asked the guy? He said, how much did they pay you to give up on your dream? How much did they pay you to give up on your dream, family? How much did they pay you to walk away from your God given assignment? How much did they pay you to stop walking in your purpose or to forget about it? Yeah. Some of y'all like, oh yeah, no, you can't buy me. You can't buy me. Like in a dating scene, men and women, you can't buy me. You can't buy me. But hold up, you being bought right now. I ain't got a price tag. I'm priceless. You're being bought right now. You were paid to give up on your purpose. Talk about I can't be bought. I don't have a price. There's no amount of money that somebody could pay me right now to get me out of alignment with my God-given purpose. There's no amount of money. There's no amount of money somebody could pay me to not be reading Rich and Righteous to you right now. There's no amount of money somebody could pay me to walk away from the multifamily movement from ever. There's no amount of money somebody could pay me for me not to put on the Generational Wealth Conference. The feeling that I get from being here in front of you, the feeling I get every time somebody closes on a property, the feeling I got this weekend at Generational Wealth Conference, that feeling is priceless. I know that when I'm in alignment with God, my creator, and my purpose, that I'm going to be successful. I am going to be successful. I'm going to have more than enough. I'm going to have everything that my heart desires. Seek ye first the kingdom of God and all his righteousness, and all these things shall be added unto you. There's a sequence of success. That's one of our favorite scriptures that we continue to reference on this journey. So you're talking about I can't be bought or I'm using them. No, you're being used for your life force energy. When you look in the movie The Matrix, what were they using people for? What were they using human beings for in The Matrix? They were using them for the energy. They were using human beings as batteries. Why? Because it's the energy in your body that has true value. This is the greatest form of currency that exists. Once this currency is gone, it's over. No amount of money will do anything for you once the currency in here is gone. Once the currency in your temple is gone. Once the lights go out in your temple, none of this will help. Got a good friend of mine who's here right now, and I don't know how comfortable he is with me sharing the story, but I'll let you know that he was working at Tesla and talking about energy. Talking about energy, that's renewable energy. He was working at Tesla in a great paying job at Tesla, stocks, all that stuff, and their stock was up. And guess what? He chose to leave for a vision that I believe is greater than the role that he had there. He left a large organization that is doing really well and expanding, a cool brand, cool job, cool title, literally talked to Elon Musk on a daily basis. He left because the vision he had was greater than the role he had there. Now, I believe in Elon Musk's vision. We need to get off of fossil fuels. But even then, he had to make a choice because a divine seed, a divine download was planted in him that it's time for you to go. I need you to go over here. I need you to do this. How obedient are you, family? You want your kids to be obedient to you, but you're not obedient to your mother, father, God. You want your kids to be obedient to you. You want them to listen to you all the time, but you are not being obedient to your mother, father, God. You're checking off all these boxes, but you're failing to do the one thing that you were created to do, and that is walking your God-given purpose. Look, mommy, I cleaned up my bedroom, and I washed the dishes and I put the food away. Did you do your homework? No, but I cleaned up and I swept and I did the dishes and I did all this other stuff. Did you do your homework? No, not yet. That's how some of y'all are moving right now. Got all these kind of awards. Oh yeah, I traveled to 50 countries and I did all this and I did all this and I'm at a 6 or 7 figure net worth and I'm happily married. This and that. Did you do your purpose? I created you to do one thing. All those other things are nice, but I created you to do one thing. Did you do it? No, but look at my resume and look at all the countries I've been to and look at my beautiful family and look at all the money I've donated. Okay, that's nice. That's great. Did you do the one thing I created you to do? Some of those other things are literally distractions, family. It's a cover up. It's a cover up from you not doing the one thing that you were created to do because you believe that the one thing that you were created to do is hard and that you may fail at it. Why would your creator create you for a purpose and then not give you everything that you need to succeed at that purpose? That would be a cruel creator. That would be a cruel creator to create you for a specific purpose and then not give you everything you need to succeed. I'm a living demonstration that when you walk in your purpose, I quit my job January 9th, 2009 at the bottom of the last recession. The abundance that has come into my life as a result of walking in alignment with my God-given purpose and seeking to stay in alignment every single day is far more than I could have made in any job or organization. The corporate ladder will never reach your full potential. I don't care how high you go. Each one of us has a divine seed, and it's not to say that you should be an entrepreneur or never be an employee, because my team at the Multifamily Movement, the vision that I have and that was downloaded to me and through me is in alignment with what they were meant to do. I'm not saying that everybody has to be an entrepreneur. That's not what I'm saying. Okay. But you do need to find work, because guess what? You spend more time at work than you will with your spouse and your family. You spend more time at work than you will with your spouse and your family. Okay. So we need to rethink where we're giving our greatest form of currency. Okay. We need to rethink whose vision is it. Is it a vision that I'm meant to lead, God, or am I supposed to be in alignment with somebody else's vision? And if you do not feel that way right now, be me, God. Show me where I'm supposed to use this beautiful energy, this valuable energy that you've given me, because I know it's not here. Because even though I'm getting paid, I feel depleted at the end of the week. Even though I'm getting paid, I feel empty in my soul. So I know that this is not it. When you are doing God's work, it rejuvenates you. It replenishes you. How do you think I showed up Monday on Read Rich and Righteous after a 3-day conference? Why? Because the work that I'm doing replenishes me. It does not empty me. Jullien, how are you still awake right now? How you still got so much energy? Because when you're doing this kind of work, when you're in alignment, you get replenished. You don't get emptied. So if you feel tired, if you call Wednesday hump day, if you already looking forward to Friday and it's Tuesday, then guess what? You're likely out of alignment. I don't care how cool other people think your job is, what kind of title you have. I don't care how much you're getting paid. You are likely out of alignment if your work is depleting you. That was a whole 10, 20-minute tangent. But the tangent is parallel with where we're trying to go, y'all. Trust me. All right. Cool. So where are we? We're on page 215. We're on page 215. While I don't save money beyond my emergency fund, there are times where we need to store money. While I don't save money beyond my emergency fund, there are times where we need to store money. Okay. I want to make a distinction between store versus save. Okay. Store versus save. To store means to keep or accumulate something for future use, whereas save means to keep safe from harm or danger. You see the distinction? Are we here to store money or save money? Are we here to store money or to save money? Are we here to store money or save money? Please let me know. To store money means to keep or accumulate something for future use, whereas save money means to keep safe from harm or danger. Saving money is fear-based when you look at the definitions. It is fear-based. However, there are times where we must store money for future use. So we know we need to accumulate money for a down payment. We need to accumulate money to start our business. We need to accumulate money to go do this. Okay? So I want to make a distinction between the word store and save. I want to give you the value holder hierarchy to show you that you have options regarding your money beyond just saving it in a bank. Our time and money can go to things that lose value over time, hold value over time, or gain value over time. Okay. So this is the value holder hierarchy. This is the value holder hierarchy. Okay. So things that lose value over time, cash, right? Due to inflation, -8%, cars, clothes, most clothes. Okay. College degrees, cell phones, computers, consumables, unhealthy bodies, acquaintances, and information. Okay. Things that hold value over time, land, a healthy body, commodities that don't spoil, friendships, unapplied wisdom, term life insurance, single family real estate. Okay. Things that gain value over time. Time gains value over time. Okay. A learning mind, multifamily real estate, gold, stocks, whole life insurance, collectibles like art, cars, antiques, cars, cryptocurrency, business partnerships, and applied wisdom, right? So when you ask yourself, where is my money? Is it in things that lose value over time, hold value over time, or gain value over time? These are the things that you have to ask yourself. And the more you have your money in things that gain value over time, the easier it will be for us to get to our goal of creating the wealthiest family in the world. Okay. And for those of you who don't know, that is the vision. The goal is to create the wealthiest family in the world. Is to make the righteous rich. What does that mean? That means 100,000 people with $1 million net worth over the next 30 to 50 years. That is the vision that I hold and am focused on for the next 30 to 50 years. Okay. The reason I say 30 to 50, because I don't know how long I will be here. And so the next 30 to 50 years, that is the work that I'm committed to being in. You being here means that you were part of that vision, that you were called to be a part of that vision. And it means that I'm here to literally seek to help you become a millionaire over time. I'm not promising you some overnight success. I'm not promising you that you become a millionaire next year. That is possible. I've seen it happen. Okay. But what I am here to do is to retrain your mind and reprogram your mind around how you think about money, how you think about wealth, and how you get it. Okay, like Kingdom Come, how it comes to you. And so I just encourage you to stay close, because what we have going on is something very special. If you were at Generational Wealth Conference, you know it. You know it. You felt it. We had to go virtual for 2 years, but to be in that room this past weekend, there was an energy and a vibration there that makes me even more confident that this is possible. And so again, that is 100,000 people with $1 million net worth. That would be $100 billion. That would make us the fifth wealthiest family in the world right now. Okay. So we're on page 216. We have a page and a half. We have a page and a half left to go, family. Page 216. We are meant to play hot potato with money. Y'all remember hot potato? We are meant to play hot potato with money. It is not meant to be held for long periods of time. We are always seeking to increase the size of our money supply, the number of streams our money comes through, the yield on our stored money, and ultimately our overall circulation of money in our lives. Okay? Cash is trash. Cash is trash. You can't eat it. You can't drink it. You can't put it on to keep you warm. Okay? Cash is trash. But there may be moments where you have more than you need, and you must still be a good steward of it. You can put your cash into unconscious things that have potential for growth until you need it for something greater. Anything is better than a bank account. The intention here is to at least hold the value of the money, but ideally to increase in value over time. Once you've saved your emergency fund, invest everything else. I've given you a system I developed called the cash flow framework in this chapter's next section. I don't keep a lot of cash beyond my emergency fund. Every time I get cash, the goal is to employ it at the highest level possible into an asset as quickly as possible. You want to be asset rich and cash poor. You want to be asset rich and cash poor. Cash poor doesn't mean that you are poor. Cash poor does not mean that you are poor. It just means that you don't hold a lot of cash. All right? I'm doing well off financially, family. But that doesn't mean you can come ask me for money. You want to know why? Because all of my money already has a purpose. I don't have money sitting in a bank account with no purpose. It already has a purpose. So even though I would say wealthy, you can't borrow any money from me. I don't have any money to give you. I have my emergency fund, I have my assets, and then I have some stored money that already has its name, already has a purpose assigned to it. Right? So this is what it means to be cash poor, but asset rich. If you ever need cash for any reason, you can always liquidate one of the assets through selling, renting, refinancing, lending, or licensing. Okay? If I ever need cash, I can always sell, rent, refinance, lend, or license one of the assets that I have. But I do not want to hold that in cash, because in cash, with inflation, I'm losing -8%. I'm losing -8% if I'm holding it in cash. Okay. All right. Cool. So if you focus on asset acquisition and not cash collecting for the next 10 years, I can almost guarantee you that you will be financially free and have more cash and passive income than you could have ever imagined. Anything that you want, family, when you're walking in your purpose, when you're stepping into anything, you're committing to anything, I need you to ask, am I committed to this for at least 10 years? If you cannot wholeheartedly ask, yes, answer yes, I'm committed to this for at least a decade, then don't do it. Okay. I bought my first property in Brooklyn, New York in May of 2013. I've been in the real estate game for 10 years now. 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, almost 10 years. I haven't even been in the real estate game for 10 years, but my head has been down and focused for 10 years. So again, anytime you are about to commit to something, ask yourself, am I committed to this for 10 years? That means that in 10 years, you're likely going to go through a cycle. It may not always be up, up, and up, right? You're going to go through a cycle. And it's really those who are able to endure cycles that let you know if they're truly committed to this. All right. So I'm going to repeat this again. If you focus on everybody type asset acquisition. Everybody type asset acquisition. If you are focused on asset acquisition and not cash collecting for the next 10 years, I can almost guarantee that you will be financially free and have more cash and passive income than you could have ever imagined. This is not a get rich quick scheme, but this is a get rich guaranteed system over time. This is a get rich guaranteed system over time. Last paragraph, and then we're done for the day. Becoming a great steward of money will yield more wealth than you just becoming a great saver. Becoming a great steward of money will yield more wealth than just becoming a great saver of money. Many people are playing defense by saving when they have nothing to defend. Many people, remember, to save means to keep from danger, right? Many people are playing defense by saving when they have nothing to defend. As Nipsey Hussle said, used to be safe, now it's stay dangerous, because it ain't no point in playing defense. That's why I dove off the deep end without a life jacket. Nipsey's motto was all money in. All money in. Okay? Saving is a vital initial step to build up your emergency fund and pool of money to invest. Okay? So let's say your emergency fund is $3,000 a month for 6 months. That's $18,000. That's your emergency fund. We just put that away. Okay? Hopefully we can put it in something that holds value, because if we set aside $18,000 in cash, we're going to lose. It's going to deplete in value due to inflation. Okay? But we've got our emergency fund now. Now, the next pool of money that we're trying to do is the initial amount that we are going to use to invest, right? So saving is a vital initial step, but you're to build up your emergency fund and pool of money to invest. It takes money to make money. We need something to invest with, but we must know that we are not saving for the sake of saving. Once your emergency fund is in place, whether that is 3 months of living expenses or 6 months or 12, it frees you to take more risk as an investor, lender, or entrepreneur. For now, focus on putting some more points on the board by building, buying, and being an asset that can add another zero to your savings account, your net worth, and your monthly income. Remember, who must I become? Who must I become to go from $10,000 saved to $100,000 saved? Do I just become a better worker? Do I just become a better saver? No, that's not going to get me from 10,000 saved to 100,000 saved. Now listen to me on this. Who must I become to go from 100,000 in net worth to 1 million in net worth? Those are two different individuals, family. Those are not the same person. You cannot stay the same and expect different results. Insanity is doing the same thing over and over and over again and expecting different results. Now listen to me on this, family. Who must I become to go from $100 per hour to $1,000 per hour? Who must I become? See, here we focus on the being. I don't care what you have. I don't even care what you do. I focus on who you must be, right? Financial literacy teaches you the how, what you should do to try to have this. We focus on financial spirituality. This is the who you must become. We recognize that first and foremost, we are children of God. And as a result of being children of God, we know that what? Abundance is our birthright. This is the identity that we are trying to fully accept and step into. And once we do that, we will see that our external world, that our heaven is more a reflection of what we're experiencing on earth. Whenever our heaven, which is our greatest mental experience of life, right? The greatest good we can imagine for ourselves and others is not aligned with our material experience, which is earth, then we know we're living in hell. But when our heaven, the heaven that's in our mind, not some place that you go to after you die. The heaven that is in your mind is in alignment with what you are experiencing in the material world, as above, so below. Then you are experiencing heaven on earth. That's a new definition of hoeing, y'all. You know, people say I'm in my whole season. I'm in my whole season. Guess what? I'm in my whole season. I'm in my heaven on earth season, family. And it's gonna stay that way. I'm in my whole season. Heaven on earth. I ain't out here fucking around. I've never been around here fucking around. But I'm in my whole season. I'm in heaven on earth. And I don't ever anticipate leaving. My job every single day, your job every single day is to stay in alignment. My job every single day is to stay in alignment. It's one thing to get in alignment, it's another thing to stay there. And if you were at Generational Wealth Conference, you know I'm in my whole season, family. I am experiencing heaven on earth right here, right now. I ain't waiting until after I die. I'm not waiting until the body temple starts to corrode. I'm experiencing it right here and right now. And any religion that has convinced you that death is better than life has led you astray. All right. So that concludes today's reading. I'm so grateful for technology. I want to give thanks to the internet. I guess now I got to give shout out to Al Gore. I don't know who created this, but whoever the idea came through and was open enough to receive it. Thank you for the internet. Thank you to Facebook. Thank you to Instagram. Thank you to YouTube. We had a hiccup at first on YouTube. YouTube froze, and we were able to get it back up, and we still got to 600 people today. We still reached 600 people today despite that hiccup. So I'm grateful that I'm able to reach you all from where I am. Right from where I am, I'm able to reach you all. And what's most important is that I hope that you are able to reach my level of consciousness when it comes to money. Now, there are things that I can learn from you. There are levels of consciousness where you are higher. You might be higher than me in health. You may be higher than me in relationships. You may be higher than me in parenting. You may be higher than me in this other domain over here. And I look forward to learning from you. Remember, when you were taking notes, family, a note is a vibration. We talked about this in one of the previous sections. A note in music is a vibration. So when you're taking notes, you're literally tapping into the frequency of the person that is speaking to you. So every time you show up here to read Rich and Righteous, you are literally tapping into my wealth conscious frequency. And my hope is that if you are at a lower frequency than I am, then your frequency is elevating up from poverty consciousness to wealth consciousness. And I'm so grateful that you continue to tune in, to tap in to this frequency. Man, I love y'all. I'm so grateful for y'all. I will be back here 8:30 a.m. Eastern Standard Time tomorrow. Please set a phone alarm. I don't like to bombard you with emails and text messages. So if you're really committed to this process, we have to consistently do this, because guess what? When you step away from here, they're going to consistently be bombarding you with recession, scarcity, fear. So we start this day by pouring into our cup first. We fill our cup first. Before we go pour into anybody else, we must fill our cup first. And that's what we do here at 8:30 a.m. Eastern Standard Time every single day. So I will see you here tomorrow. If you do not have the book, please go to moneyandmanifestation.com. Again, that's moneyandmanifestation.com. And you can get the book. It is $100. It's $100 on Amazon for one. Okay. But if you go to moneyandmanifestation.com, you can get 5 copies for $100, plus the rituals workbook, plus the audio book as well, all for $100. Also in the Facebook group, there are people who are happily ready to give you a book. They bought 5 books and they are looking for others to give them to. So I'm going to put the Facebook group link in the chat right now. It is facebook.com/groups/rich and righteous. So we're creating our own economy around the books. But again, we do not want to ever ask from a place of neediness and victim consciousness and begging. We want to ask from a place of need, meaning that I don't have $100 right now, so I can't buy the book myself because of the financial seeds that I planted in the past. I'm here today planting new seeds. And so I'm happy to give I do have $10. And I'm happy to cash app somebody $10 if they would be willing to send me a book. And doing that, I will use the book. I will read the book. I will show up to read Rich and Righteous every single day. And once my earth, right, my material experience starts to reflect the heaven that is in my mind, and I have more abundance in my life, I will pay it forward and I will return the favor to somebody else. Okay. So those kind of exchanges are happening in the Facebook group. If you're looking to give a book away, please go to the Facebook group to find somebody. If you're looking to receive a book from a place of need, not neediness, go to the Facebook group. If you're on Instagram, it is easier to DM people on Instagram than it is on YouTube. So you may be able to facilitate that conversation there. So with that, I want to celebrate each one of you for showing up today for yourself first, right? And now that puts us in position to now go pour into others and be a blessing to others. Okay. So with that, I want to say I love you. We'll catch you later. All the links are in my bio on Instagram. You can go to moneyandmanifestation.com to get the book. Moneyandmanifestation.com to get the book. All right. See you tomorrow, y'all. Peace.